So, Hayes, I mean, infrastructure constraints, yes, we're still relatively fortunate in South Africa. But if you look at your client base, and if I think of something like electricity supply, for instance, what are our clients doing to, we had blackouts or downtime in Eskom 18 months, 2 years ago. What are our clients doing who are in the cold chain, for instance, in moving fruit to overcome those challenges?
Yeah, Roo, we've been quite actively speaking to those type of clients on alternative power solutions. I think a lot of our clients has moved into the solar and alternative energies type of sources, and we actively help them to sort of finance those type of projects. Currently, it's probably not viable from a financial perspective to go 100% off grid, but I mean, I think as soon as the sooner technology improves, more and more mega farmers and producers will move towards sort of alternative energy to sustainably give power to the necessary needs.
But we funded some of those projects in the past. I think specifically solar.
Specifically solar, I'm not 100% sure about the Cape. There's a lot of wind turbines in let's call it Cape Province. Up here north, we've got less wind, but the solar element is definitely increasing. We're getting a lot more requests from clients to assist them and to sort of get a consortium together to look at those type of projects.
And solar would be a expansion we'd be willing to fund, I would think.
Yeah. We've got a dedicated team in the bank looking at solar, advising, dealing with external service providers, who's the real specialist in the field, and sort of a joint effort in solutioning the client on a turnkey solution is what we aim for.
Yeah, and as ABSA, as a renewable energy financier, is one of the leading leading banks, leading financiers in the industry of specifically solar. So I think that's the one thing that's good. We see it in the other African countries. Farmers need to be resourceful, and businesses as well, to solution their problems. We know power provision is a key factor. If you look at some farmers, they can't be without power for extended periods. You guys mentioned the cold storage. If you take any poultry industry in summer, the temperatures in those poultry houses are so much so if you switch off their ventilation, it'll be a couple hours and you'll lose a whole flock. So I think consistent, reliable power generation, power supply is so key moving forwards. And these are, I think, one of the key elements that's been mentioned by numerous farmers' organizations, is to look at your complete requirements of power, water, logistics. And I think we're seeing that in the secondary industry more and more, where people want to take control of that or have participation in that to make sure they're getting top quality service. And I think that's one of the, we see it across Africa now, with consistent supply continues to be an issue. There's a number of projects going up now, financed by a number of development banks, new hydropower operations, solar, wind. So it's almost like a drive to improve power generation. And it will be interesting once they come online, all these projects. And we know the commissioning phase takes years in some instances. But once they're all in place, I'm sure we're going to see a much improved electricity supply within the whole African continent. I'm sure that will help with development going forwards, that we can then achieve those double-digit GDP growth rates that it's always been, we're always striving for.
And once you have power and water, you can start producing, you can start doing something. I think Israel is a good example of that.
Definitely.
Instance, the Northern Cape, which is an arid region, is producing the best export grapes in the world.